What's up, everybody? We are playing Wolf Tales. It just came out yesterday, May the 4th, and I thought I'd try to record as soon as possible, just to show you guys what this game's about. So it is a visual novel game. So yeah, I guess there's gonna be a lot of reading involved. Not your best reader, but I hope you guys can follow along. All right, let's choose our gender and name our character. Well, let's name our character. Should we just name it after myself? Yeah. Let's see. We do Joe. Yeah, and then male. Okay, we press enter. I don't think there's any voice acting to this, but we'll see. This game was on sale, I guess for its launch. I believe I got it for $8.99 on the Steam store. A retail price being like $9 or something, which is not bad for a game. It is a visual novel, so I don't think there's any gameplay involved other than just reading. That's usually how the visual novels are. Anyways, let's go ahead and just see what it's about. I stare at the road before me, which is now barely visible thanks to the flurry of snow. The storm has arrived violently while I was out, and before I knew it, I had gotten stuck in the middle of it. Almost home. My breath is visible in front of me as I creep forward on the snow-over road. Even though my heater is on full blast, it isn't enough to ward off the freezing cold. I shudder to think how cold I'd be without it. The sooner I get home, the better. I hate to get stranded out here in this. Slowing my truck. Sorry. Slowing my truck to a stop in front of the cabin, I turn the key in the ignition and shut it off. The heater immediately stops blowing. I can already feel the chill hit me. Time to brace myself for the freezing winds raging between me and the cabin. Here goes! I'm home! Why do I live in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere? I rush inside as quickly as I can, shivering from head to toe despite my thick clothing. The moment I slam the door behind me, the sound of the wind howling outside quietens, and the chattering of my teeth fills the room. It's warmer in here, but not to the point where I can wisely toss aside my extra layers and flop down on the couch. If I suddenly remove all my extra layers in right this instance, I'll probably pass out from the change in temperature. I really can't relate to this. I mean, it does snow sometimes in California. Not like everywhere, but up north it would, like in Tahoe. I haven't even been there that often, so I'm not actually accustomed to the cold myself in real life. Let's see. Whose idea was it to start living out here anyways? Definitely not mine. As the sole occupant of this cabin, I expect no response to my rhetorical question. For better or worse, I decided for myself that I would live in these snowy mountains all on my own. Alright, tea. I'll buy tea, then I'll turn in for the night. In the middle of a snowstorm like this, it's important to keep nourished and warm. After reminding myself to adhere to a few basic survival tips, I filled the kettle with warm water, and turned it on. Man, I am glad I have electricity out here. Also, cabin in the woods. Without ready access to hot water, there's no way I'd survive out here. I should have enough food to last until summer, too. Which point I'll be able to go into town without freezing to death. Dang! How much food do I have to last like a whole half a year? Jeez. Life out here might work out after all. I mean, it's not uncommon for men to decide to make a go for it on their own, isolated from society at large. I'd find it relatively easy adjustment to begin living out here. Though in my circumstance, this cabin was my only option at the time. The moment I think so, my body begins to shiver once more. I feel cold wind brush up against my cheek, threatening to give me a frostbite if I dare take off any layers of my clothing. That's weird. It shouldn't be this cold inside the cabin. I know there's a storm out there, but the cabin's pretty well insulated, and it shouldn't be cold unless the door's open. Curious about the source, and desperate to stop the cold, I walk through the cabin and try to figure out where it's coming from. The lights is off. After checking all the windows, I wind up near the back of the entrance of the cabin. And surely enough, as soon as I spot the back door, I have my answer. Haha! Gotcha! I hurriedly clear away the snow at the base of the door, which seems to have stopped at the door from opening or closing any further. Then I close the door, lock it, and move a few things in front of the door to prevent it from opening, even if the lock were to break. That'll do it. But how did the door get open in the first place? Did someone have a B&E on me? I could see myself forgetting to lock it, since I'm all alone out here. But there's no way I'd forget to close it. Is the latch broken? Forget it. I think I'll think about it later. I've had something after I had something warm to drink. I turn away from the door and begin to walk towards the kitchen. No sooner I begin to move my foot. However, then I realize the floor is soaking wet. Some snow must have got blown and melted. I better clean this up. My eyes widen and I realize something important. There isn't just one puddle of water, but several. Following a clear, non-linear path, the puddles show me a path someone or something has taken. Damn, an intruder? Or maybe a wild animal. I instantly grab an axe that I keep for wood off the back wall. Sorry, buddy. I understand that you want to take refuge from the cold, but a guy's gotta protect himself with murder. Axe in hand, I head deeper into a snow storeroom, prepared to defend myself against a potentially dangerous person or animal that has wandered into my home. Moving even further inside, I cautiously move around the table and it's a girl with real boobies. Freeze! What the? My arms lose all strength as I stare at the peculiar sight in front of me. On the floor in my storeroom is a girl. She's shivering wet, and her breath is ragged. Red-faced yet blue on the fingertips, the poor girl looked like she's about to freeze to death at any moment. And yet, what attracts my attention is that tail, and those ears, and those breasts. It couldn't be. Without thinking, I drop my axe on the floor and reach out towards the girl's ears. I gently tug on her ears, trying to pull them off, or otherwise expose their stitching. However, no matter how hard I pull, there's no sign of it being a practical joke. As far as I can tell, these wolf-like ears are real. I don't think that'll be my first reaction, to go up to a stranger girl and start tugging on her possibly fake wolf ears. Impossible. Is she really a furry? That can't be right. I made absolutely certain that this place was intruding on a domain of half-humans. Oh, this is like a magic world, I guess. Did I make a mistake? Or is she just... Before I can mull over the girl's presence any further, her whimper brings me back to reality. Right, whatever the reason for her presence here, it doesn't change the fact that she's freezing to death in my cabin. I'll worry about the details later. For now, I'll have to make sure she doesn't die. I grab a towel from one of the shelves in the storeroom and immediately begin drying off the young girl. The moment I make contact with her skin, I realize how close to death this girl really is. Her body's so cold that I can feel it through my towel. Her skin is deathly pale, and she can't stop shivering. Desperately, I rub the girl's body, trying to dry her off and warm her up. However, no matter how much her body moves about, she does not stir. The girl is breathing, but unconscious. Even if I tried to, I don't think I'll be able to wake her up. Shit, this isn't working. I'm gonna have to step things up a notch. Body heat? Or maybe I'm gonna do a fire? Many hours pass by as the unconscious wolf girl continues to rest. Over time, her breathing gradually becomes less ragged and the color of her skin returns to her. The innocent shivering becomes to an end. Her lips stop quivering, and a faint, peaceful smile appears on her face. While it's still too soon to rest easy, it seems like this girl is going to be just fine. Whew! I was worried for a while there, but it looks like things are finally calmed down. I guess some dry clothes and a long sleep and a warm cabin were all she needed. Feeling good about myself for having been able to help out, I watched the girl step out for I watch the girl sleep for a while as I contemplate on what to do next. The snowstorm has died down now, so I should probably have this girl leave as soon as she wakes up. She's like wearing a skirt. I don't think she's good in the snow. Though I suppose I could at least feed her first. She must be famished after sleeping for so long, and almost freezing to death. It would be heartless for me to not at least. While I'm in the middle of thinking out loud, the wolf girl finally begins to move. What starts out as a faint groan quickly turns into a visible movement on her part. The girl's eyelid twitch, and I can see her lips trembling. In a matter of seconds, she will no doubt open her eyes. That was quite a... Huh? Whoa, she really is not wearing much. The girl's eyes open wide as she starts to gain her bearings. Her eyes dart around the room, trying to fill in the blanks of her memory. Oh yes, I remember now. I got caught up in the snowstorm, didn't I? I finally found shelter, but I thought my mind was just playing tricks on me as my body started to shut down. Am I alive? You sure are, as far as I can tell. The girl jumps in fright as she finally notices my presence. You are, this is... The girl tries to speak, but fails to formulate a proper sentence. With that being the case, I decide to explain the situation to her, giving her time to calm down. I found you in my storeroom, shivering and unconscious on the floor. I tried you off and brought you aside, but it was hard to tell if you were really going to survive or not. Your fingertips were already starting to blue by the time I found you, and your breath was completely a mess. Listening to my calm explanation, the girl looks down at herself. She pinches her clothing, seemingly surprised how clean and dry they were. My clothes? Did you? I avert my gaze. Yeah, I did. Before you say anything, it's not like I was trying to peek, okay? Your clothes were wet and you were at risk of freezing to death. I couldn't just leave you like that. Just like me, the girl blushes and looks away. A wolf girl or not, she must be embarrassed to have her body seen by a stranger, a human male no less. Rather than adopt an expression of anger, however... Thank you. Huh? The girl forces herself to look at me once more, her eyes filled with sincerity, and she continues to speak. I'm a trespasser. I broke into your cabin and intruded in your home, and I dared use your shelter as my own. And despite that, you went to such length for me. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. It really wasn't a big deal, though. You were caught in the middle of a snowstorm. If I were in your situation, I would have broken in too. Besides, all I did was dry you off and clean your clothes. It really nothing major. It is something major. If you hadn't taken pity on me, I would have... Before the girl finished speaking, she interrupted by the sound of the kettle whistling. How you guys like my kettle? Sounds like breakfast ready. Warm water. Excuse me for a moment. I move him the girl and head towards the kitchen. Once I set foot in front of the kettle, I grab the additional ceramic bowl from my guest since she is now woken up. Breakfast? You didn't mean to say it like that. Is it now morning? That's right, you're asleep for 12 whole hours. After emptying 2 packets of instant noodles into one... Oh, I poured the boiling water. That's why I have like a half-year supply of food. It's all instant ramen. Alright. I place a fork in each bowl and bring it back to the living room. Well, I guess it is a good food to warm me up, huh? Careful not to let the water spill over the sides. Here you go. Make sure to give it a few minutes to cook before you eat it. As I set the bowl down the table in front of the girl, she stares at it quizzically. Eat this? Is this some kind of soup? Yeah, they're instant noodles. Duh. Alright, well, I think I'll call it an episode here. I'll keep going on from right here, but I'll see you guys on the next episode on Wolf Tales. Bye.